So yesterday I made a video reacting to and discussing the latest video from Thunderfoot. He's a big YouTuber, been doing it for a long time. He made this video called Tesla is Finished, and he's been talking about Elon Musk and Tesla and saying it's going to go bankrupt for years and things are not looking good for Tesla. So today I want to talk more about it, some more of the issues, because I only scratched the surface yesterday and things are developing day to day. So let's get into it. So this is what's been happening lately. Of course, there's been a lot of protests. This is a very professional one, probably by somebody who works at a design agency and advertising agency, the Fast and the Furious. It's from London, so all over the world have been protests. And the thing about this video today is if Tesla's finished, it's because of Elon Musk, no doubt about it. And we're going to have a look at different angles on that, different reasons for that. And we can see here, this is also part of it. Elon has a thin skin. He's a big free speech absolutist, and we'll look at some of that today because he really is not about free speech. That's becoming more and more obvious as time goes by. He does not like criticism. And this also is part of it. The Cybertruck has been recalled. I've made a video about that. All of the Cybertrucks in the US being recalled because panels are falling off. The trim panels, which they just glued on. You know, Elon Musk, a manufacturing genius. He said that he knows more about manufacturing than anybody on earth at this point. But there's panels falling off the Cybertruck. So this image from The Onion, spray painted graffiti on there, is the only thing holding the Cybertruck together. So we'll get into a bit of humor as well today, obviously. So this is about sales. Part of the problem is that sales are dropping. This is the latest evidence. We've got a video about San Diego, California, Southern California sales. What's going on, and does it relate to the protests?
Report shows that Tesla sales have dropped 35% in San Diego County over the past year.
It comes as Elon Musk's involvement in the federal government has sparked protests, even vandalism at Tesla dealerships. Our Jamie Chambers is live in Encinitas with the latest tonight.
Andrew, with Elon Musk becoming that lightning political rod right now, times are tough for Tesla. The sales numbers have just come out, and they're simply not looking good at this point. This year's Tesla Autopilot profits have come to a screeching halt, with the latest Tesla sales numbers down 35% this February in compared to February 2024 in San Diego County. Tesla's stock price falling from $479 to $248. Investors are worried and protesters are upping the pressure.
We just want to call attention to the harm that he's doing to everyday people.
Okay, so they touched on a few things there, definitely the relevant topics. The sales are going down 35%, so numbers starting to come in. I keep saying it's going to be interesting to see these first quarter numbers from Tesla and the protesting. They linked it to the protest there. A lot of people, investors, Tesla, Elon-gelicals, say that the protests have got nothing to do with it, although they are calling for, you know, prison time for vandals in particular. And Pam Bondi's been talking about harsh prison sentences for vandals of Teslas. And this is what Thunderfoot had to say about sales in other places, including Germany, which I've made videos about recently as well. Sales way down in Europe and in Germany in particular.
Said they wouldn't buy a Tesla. Yeah, this is Germany, the most important car market in Europe, and home of the factory that makes all of the Teslas in Europe. And it's not just a survey. The sales are down by 75%. Sales in Germany being largely representative of those in Europe by dropping about 70%, whilst overall EV sales have been increasing. Yes, thanks to the big-brained rebranding from Musk.
Good. Use your aggressive feelings, boy. Let the heat flow through you.
Tesla's now about as popular as cancer, just as was prophesized.
Indeed, it's become very unpopular since that salute that Elon Musk made. You know, a lot of his supporters say that it wasn't on purpose, but I mean, who makes a double salute like that in thinking that it won't be misconstrued? I mean, really, it's been going downhill. The public knows it. That's why sales have been going downhill. There's protests, and Thunderfoot has been saying that, as he says in this video, as he shows Elon Musk's 5-year countdown to bankruptcy, and that was back in 2023. So if that's the case, it would be ahead of schedule if that happens. And there are other things going on, but this was unexpected. Obviously, investors didn't expect things like this. We've got some Fox News commentary here about what's going on. Let's listen to this.
Let's talk about one of the most disturbing things to happen in this climate since Donald Trump took office, and that is the targeting Tesla. Over the weekend, the anti-Tesla protests were in 13 different locations, from West Palm Beach to Chesterfield, Missouri, New York City, Milford, Connecticut, Mechanicsville, Pennsylvania, big and small cities, all sitting there protesting Tesla.
So they showed the Teslas on fire there, but the Tesla takedown protests have been largely peaceful. You know, legal protests is not illegal to protest peacefully in the United States or any other liberal democracy. But the vandalism, of course, is illegal, and they're coming down hard on that.
The leading electric car company, because it happens to be engineered by Elon Musk, who, hate to tell you, only owns 15% of the country, but don't let, of the company, but don't let that slow you down.
A bit of a Freudian slip there. This is Elon Musk only owns 15% of the country.
They have 3 goals, Rachel. Sell your Teslas, dump your stock, join the picket lines. We're tanking Tesla stock prices to stop Musk. And then the third one is stopping Musk will help save lives and protect our democracy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I'm going to translate that last one. Stopping Musk will help save lives and protect our democracy. Translate that from liberal speak. It means we're really mad that you took apart USAID and all the money laundering that we were doing through there to get to give to George Soros, who then gave money to us. It was like a big old scheme. And Elon Musk and Donald Trump blew that up. And boy, are they mad that they don't have access to our money to fund their radical agenda anymore. And so now, I don't know where they're getting the money. Donald Trump said, look at those signs. They're nice. They're printed. They're expensive. So, somebody is funding this. We need to get to the bottom.
Okay, so there's this conspiracy theory that Elon is promoting too, that there's a lot of money behind these protests. They're professional paid protesters, when really this is grassroots protesting. And you can see searching around for somebody to blame. Elon is searching around for somebody to blame. If Tesla does go down, he'll conveniently blame the protesters rather than the actions that he's taken. And he has been in the media lately saying things like that. This is what Thunderfoot says about what Elon has been doing, and in turn Tesla being protested, sales going down. And so Elon is casting around to blame other people. But really, if it does go down, it's ultimately his fault as a CEO. He didn't have to go into politics, although he said it was necessary.
But what I can say is, when the guy's first move in government was to cancel programs that included the HIV treatment that had kept some 20 million people alive. That is, the US government had been supplying the treatment to keep millions of people from developing AIDS and dying. Cost of that treatment? Less than $1 per day. And one of the first things that Musk, one of the richest men on the planet, did was cancel all those lives. He just casually gave the orders for millions of people to effectively die. He then literally went on to tweet that Hitler didn't actually kill anyone, it was the people he ordered who did the killing. You know, just like Musk, only gave the orders. Yeah, history won't just remember Musk as the guy who lost the most capital in history. Millions of people will have their cause of death listed as Elon Musk. Now, is this murder or manslaughter? Well, this is kind of like debating if Mao killed people when technically they died of starvation. But ultimately, it was Musk's orders that will have caused the deaths of millions of people.
So yes, as I've shown before in videos, yes, Elon did tweet this out, implying that people were only following orders and it was government workers that killed lots of people, genocide, the Holocaust, pretty disgraceful stuff, and people see this. This is public. Does he realize this is public, even if he does think stuff like this? So again, we can only see that it's Elon's fault. And what is happening inside Tesla as well, the insiders, as I've shown yesterday, are selling shares. And in previous videos, the chair's selling shares, the board is selling shares, and Elon is trying to pump the stock. It has to be said that this is what happened with Enron. We had the executives Enron pumping the stock, saying people should buy it or hold it. Employees should hold it, when in fact they were selling and things were not well. There was fraud going on. I'm not saying that's what's happening here, or there is allegations of missing money, but listen to what Thunderfoot has to say about this.
That is, the top management has sold hundreds of millions of dollars of Tesla stock. They can't get rid of it fast enough, while simultaneously recommending that the employees hold on to their stock. You want the quick version? Musk was going bankrupt all along. He just needs an excuse to blame it on for what will likely be the biggest loss of capital in human history. Yeah, Musk's place in history is assured. Remember, he used to be about saving the planet, right?
Are you sincerely trying to save the world?
Well, I'm trying to do good things, yeah. I mean, saving the world is not I mean...
But you're trying to do good...
So why did he suddenly lose interest in this whole Messiah complex stuff to focus on how the government handles inventory control on software?
We found entire situations of software licenses or media subscriptions where there were 0 logins.
Wow.
So it had
and yet we were paying for it.
Yes, so the government was paying for it.
Yeah, Musk's gone from saving the world to not understanding basic concepts like inventory management. Mentally, what you're looking at here is a man who wants to get as far away from the train wrecks of Tesla and SpaceX, so he can pretend that finding a piece of software that someone wasn't using in the government was really important.
So yes, interesting theory there that Elon's trying to shift away from Tesla and even SpaceX because he can see what's coming. He's casting around for blame, and he's getting more interested in politics and maybe trying to find money in there in the government to save his companies to get more money, because they have got a lot of money from the government contracts, government subsidies and so forth. And is it really as important as the missions that he had earlier on? It was a good contrast there, wasn't it? So by the way, if you're getting value out of this episode so far, I'd really appreciate it if you remember to hit that like button to help the algorithm to spread it to more people. It really does work. It does help. Thanks. And now we have Fox News talking about this, the latest. This was just in the last 24 hours. And Elon is blaming people. He's sick of being called a Nazi, even though he gave that salute, and a lot of people are saying it. Remember, government media here, really, the Trump regime media, so they're definitely sympathetic to Elon Musk.
Senior Trump advisor Elon Musk has faced repeated and very personal attacks since he's teamed up with President Trump and started Doge. The left has called him everything from a con man to an oligarch, and even worse than that.
Elon Musk is incompetent in his position. And how do we know? Because they fired tens of thousands of people, was challenged in court. The court said the people have to go back, and now the people are coming back. He's incompetent, he's a thief, he's a Nazi, and people don't trust him.
Well, now Musk says he is done with this, and he shot back at Bowman's comments, posting, "I've had enough, lawsuit inbound." And Attorney General Pam Bondi also sending a warning to Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett after this remark.
I am truly here for very selfish reasons. Starting with, on March 29th, it's my birthday. And all I want to see happen on my birthday is for Elon to be taken down. Yes.
This is domestic terrorism. And Maria, now you have this Congresswoman Crockett who is calling for attacks on Elon Musk on her birthday. Let's take him out on my birthday, she says. And yet she turns and says, oh, I'm not calling for violence. Well, she is an elected public official. And so she needs to tread very carefully, because nothing will happen to Elon Musk.
You know, Paul, as I look at this, Jasmine Crockett insisted, she was not encouraging any sort of violence. I still don't know why you would make a remark like that.
Okay, so at least she acknowledged there that she wasn't calling for violence anyway. And the Attorney General Pam Bondi there said, take out Elon Musk when Jasmine Crockett said take down the Tesla takedown protest. And she followed it up by saying she wasn't advocating violence. So clearly a beat up there. Calling Elon a Nazi was the main thing that's going on here. And Elon did not like that. Such a free speech advocate. You do think he'd be able to put up with this? Because free speech, the only thing when it really means something is when people are saying things that you don't like, that you put up with it. But he's bringing a lawsuit here. So being a free speech absolutist, he said, but he's bringing a lawsuit about being called a Nazi. But let's see what Kyle says from Secular Talk. He says some good things about this, pointing out, is there actually some sort of evidence for this? Let's see what Kyle has to say.
So Jamal Bowman was on CNN, and he called Elon Musk an incompetent thief and a Nazi. And, somebody's tweeting about this here and saying, this is a lawsuit waiting to happen. So Elon responds and says, I've had enough. Lawsuit inbound. Elon, weren't you the dude who, 2 years ago, you would not shut the f*** up about being an apparent free speech absolutist? Now, all of a sudden, it's Jamal Bowman calls me things I don't like, so I'm going to sue him. By the way, if you don't want to be called an incompetent thief, maybe don't take $8 million a day from the government as you slash pediatric cancer research. If you don't want to be called a Nazi, maybe don't do multiple Zig Heils at Trump's inauguration. Maybe don't respond approvingly to Nazis on Twitter on a regular basis. So not only are these opinions, these are opinions backed by evidence, and he wants to sue over that. Because honestly, he might be the most anti-free speech person we've ever seen in our lives. This guy here says, I really hope he does sue Bowman. And then there's discovery. And why would he say something like that? Oh, I don't know. Maybe because as part of Elon's crash out earlier in the week, he had 4 Nazi posts in a row. Look at this. He retweeted, this person is just a flat out white supremacist. And they're doing all the fear mongering about the white farmers in South Africa. So that was one thing he retweeted. This is another thing he retweeted. This is another Nazi account. What percentage of the world's population is white? 7%. And Elon says, and dropping fast. So in other words, that's a nod to the white supremacist, Nazi, white genocide idea. Then we got this one here. Somebody tweets, don't people realize that we hate Hitler not for doing a quirky salute, but for killing millions of people? Has Elon killed even a single person? No. And just because his son says something, that doesn't necessarily make it true. And there's an article that says, Elon Musk's daughter says father's rally gesture was definitely a Nazi salute. So Elon replies to this and says, exactly, my son Xavier died. He was killed by the woke mind virus. Now the woke mind virus will die. Elon Musk has a trans daughter. And he still calls his trans daughter his son and says, basically, his son died. No, Elon, you have a trans daughter. And the inability of you to accept her basic humanity is disgusting. Again, to the point that this is the most anti-free speech man in history, Elon Musk is now suspending accounts of opposition figures in Turkey for reporting on massive protests against Erdogan's autocratic regime following the arrest of Istanbul's mayor. And you can see here a political article, Elon Musk's ex suspends opposition accounts in Turkey amid civil unrest. This is a legendary crash out, bro. I've never seen a man, one decision after the next, one day after the next, just until the end of time, just bad decision, bad decision, bad decision, bad decision.
Yes, so he's making some good points there, I think, about free speech. And people can see this. As I said, this is all public. And, people are calling him a Nazi. And then he posting daily, so many tweets a day. And you can go through his tweets and see things where you could say, well, hold on a minute. That's some pretty incredible stuff there, as Kyle pointed out here. By the way, I'll put links to Kyle's channel and to Thunderfoot channel in the description there if you want to go and see these videos as well. It's there. Both those channels are really worth seeing if you haven't caught up with them. And Kyle particularly pointing out examples and evidence of Elon Musk, who, again, free speech absolutist, or so he says, but not really when push comes to shove. Again, to bring this back to Tesla, we can see if Tesla goes down, of course, it's going to be Elon's fault with all of this. He didn't have to go into politics. He didn't have to tweet like this. He's showing his politics, showing his prejudice, his bias, his racism, all of that stuff. And we can make our own decisions, and this is why there are protests and sales going down and all the rest of it. So we'll have to see what happens with Tesla. Will Thunderfoot be correct? Now I'm going to leave you with something that's a bit more humorous, funny. It's Dana Carvey. He's been working on his Elon impression. I don't think it's quite right yet, but it's still good to see this just a few days ago.
Trump's there, he's got the tie, and then Elon is up there talking, right? And I don't really do it yet, but I'm working on it. Okay. We got to go to Mars. We're going to Mars. Because we can't sustain life on planet Earth. We got to go to Mars. It's going to be really cool. Okay? And then they say, President Trump. And Trump goes, what he said. What he said. He's a smart cookie. He's a tough cookie. He's a cookie monster. This one, he's smart. Everybody talks about it. He's like, shit so hard. Excuse me.
Now, that was on Bill Maher's show recently, of course. Right now, I'm going to put a link here if you're watching this on YouTube to a related video. Do go and see that now. And also links to some of those videos that I referenced during the episode as well. Look for the description for that. And also, I'm going to put a subscribe link on screen. Do subscribe if you're not subscribed yet and you want to get more of these kinds of videos from me in the very near future. I'm doing them every day. And look for the join button too if you want to join and get priority reply to comments and early access by quite a few hours usually. But we do get a lot of comments, so it's a surefire way of getting me to see them and to reply. I will reply to those members' comments. And thanks for watching this today, and I'll see you in the next one.